Welcome back to Digital DNA Glasgow. I'm Alastair Cameron, I'm from Starticus. We're looking after the Startup Zone today at the Digital DNA Glasgow event. I'm delighted to be joined by Onyinye, is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
Not too bad, and that's from Ujali as well. So I'd love to find out more about Ujali, and that's maybe a place to start. Tell us about the organisation.
Well, Ujali was something that came up because I came over here to the UK for a master's degree, and during that time, I looked at the quality of work here compared to the quality of work in Nigeria, where I'm coming from. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of educated people. We celebrate the certificates, but sometimes I used to own a business in Nigeria for 8 years, and I knew how difficult it was for you to hire good people. So people who have all of these qualifications that doesn't translate into work. So when I came here and I saw that, I've seen people who are CEOs who don't have maybe university degrees. You prioritize the work here. So I was looking at how can we get some of these people to be able to go over and do quality training for organizations in Nigeria to actually bring up the quality of work and make it better. So that's where it started. Then very recently I learned, look, quality training is not monopolized by maybe the African market, or we could actually allow companies globally to assess quality trainers and quality training programs on the platform. So we just recently opened it up wide open and said, look, we're a training booking platform. So you can come on and book training experts, or you can come in and book into training programs.
So in a sense, you've kind of slightly digressed from what you were initially doing, but that means it's not a full pivot because you're still doing the work in Nigeria as well.
So businesses in Nigeria can book training experts here. And businesses in the UK can also decide, oh yeah, I want to book training experts. So we don't want to say, oh no, we're just catering to this market. We can't take your money. We want all the money.
So I mean, like touching on the fact that obviously you've focused on the business in Nigeria as well, let's champion the fact that the African tech scene is hugely undervalued and there's massive potential still obviously in that as a continent, we should add as well. So like, where do you see obviously your business going obviously in terms of the scalability across obviously the African kind of continent as well?
I think why I started with Nigeria in the first place is because this is where I have my network. People underestimate like moving to a different country and trying to build a network as well as build a startup. It's very difficult because you didn't go to school with these people, you don't know them. For you to be able to vouch for me and say, oh, I recommend Onyinye to, oh, she has this company to do this for you, you would have known me for a period of time and be able to account for my character. But if you're still getting to know me, you might be a bit shy to. So for the African tech scene, I've seen a lot of growth, but I know I've operated in that market and I know what's obtainable. I went to school with like brilliant people who do amazing things in terms of coding. I studied engineering. I did major in power systems, but I know people who majored in networking and all of the coding bit, and I know how good they are. I have some of my classmates here who are already lecturers in universities here, or some who have built startups. But what the encouraging thing is that people are beginning to realize, if you look at how much African startups have raised this year, I think it's actually higher than what UK startups have raised.
Sure, absolutely.
And most of those monies raised are coming from Nigeria. And is domiciled in one city.
Why do you think that is? I mean, before we kind of come like full circle back to obviously the Scottish ecosystem, so I want to kind of see the similarities that exist and some of the things that have helped you in that sense here as well. So, but why do you think Nigeria has that kind of stronghold of tech startups?
Yeah, because let me tell you, like I said from the beginning, we do prioritize education, we prioritize the certificates, and growing up, an African parent either wants you to be a doctor or an engineer or a pharmacist, every other thing I think, and a lawyer. Every other thing in between, they think, oh no, you're going to go play in the university.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think there is a whole turnout
Yeah.
of tech enthusiasts and tech experts coming from the Nigerian market.
Yeah.
And being that the economy, the government, they are not very helpful in terms
Yeah.
of resources. You see people trying to find their way themselves.
Yeah.
So with that, people are thinking, okay, tech is the next big thing. I'm going to go into it and take care of myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to, get all the training that I
Yeah.
need, and I'm going to build out this product.
Yeah.
I think it comes from a place of survival.
Yeah.
Surviving despite
100%.
the circumstances
Yeah.
surrounding you.
Yeah.
So I think it comes from that.
Well, I mean, some of the strongest ecosystems in the world have that same mentality. I'm thinking back to obviously like East Germany and Berlin, and then obviously like Greece, and then obviously thinking about Israel, Palestine. Some of the strong tech startups, there are arguments that where with adversity, with challenges, you have to obviously really work hard at what you're doing, but you also have that innate passion for wanting to make change. And you know the pain points as well, the struggles as well, and I think that's really something that comes out with some of the ecosystems where there has been, it's not like we're just landing on loads of money to start with. You've got to get there somehow, and you just do it.
And the beauty about Nigerian startups is there are over 250 million Nigerians.
Yeah.
So you could actually build a product
Yeah.
that is just for the Nigerian
100%.
market.
Like, why go elsewhere?
Yeah, your TAM is wide
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
The market you can
Yeah.
obtain
Yeah.
wide open, and
Yeah.
so you can. So when some of these American investors and equity funders, they look at that and think, even if this product is
Yeah.
used by just Nigerians,
Yeah.
we will break even
Oh,
and
big
we'll make a
style.
lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
So even if it's used by just and the rest of Africa somehow looks to Nigeria and
Yeah.
South Africa
Yeah.
as like the leaders.
Yeah.
And so you find that when products are coming from Nigeria or from South Africa,
Yeah.
other African markets quickly adopt
Yeah.
it because they trust the product.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Nigeria is like,
Awesome.
have that edge.
Yeah.
It comes with the population,
Yeah.
which is mostly
Yeah.
youth.
Yeah.
And then it comes from, the
Good
high
education
level.
system
Yeah,
as
good.
well.
Not the good education system. It's just people are very
Okay.
resilient.
Yeah.
And happy to educate themselves,
Yeah.
even if they have to pay for
Do it
themselves
themselves.
to get
Yeah.
through those education.
Yeah,
So it's
for
not
sure.
about the infrastructure,
Yeah.
it's about the resilience
innate
of the people. Yeah.
Responsibility that one feels within themselves to do something.
Yeah.
And no, that's brilliant. It's amazing to kind of see that vision as well. Like talking about Scotland and obviously, what have you experienced? Obviously, I mean, I'm guessing, how long have you lived in Scotland anyway?
4 years.
So like within those 4 years, have you seen the development of the tech sector here? And like, is there anyone you would want to shout out? Like obviously, because I think this is all about us joining together here at DNA today, understanding more about the Scottish ecosystem and celebrating some of the people that are here as well. So like, one, what is your experience over those 4 years? And secondly, people maybe you'd want to give a shout out to that have helped you along your journey, or those pathways have helped as well.
Yeah, I have a couple actually. I find with the Scottish startup ecosystem, what works is the level of support that is available. So everywhere you turn, there is an organization looking to support a startup.
Yeah.
And having that level of support is especially helpful if you're not a founder that has grown up here, who has existing networks here.
Yes.
So some of the organizations that I've encountered, like I started with my school, the school I went to, Napier, they have a business incubator.
Yeah.
It's called Bright Red Triangle.
Yeah.
So they started out by endorsing me for a startup visa,
Yeah.
reviewing my business
Brilliant.
plan, making
Yeah.
sure that it works. And they have all of this support that is centered around, supporting startups that are incubated there.
Yeah.
And then I went on to, get acquainted with, the events that happen at CodeBase.
Yeah.
Is very helpful as
Yeah.
well. The first product that we built, it was at an event that I had gone to at CodeBase that I met the technical person
Brilliant.
was looking to start a business as well.
Amazing.
And then we matched up and we built the first MVP. So that was very helpful in terms of expanding my network. And then we move on to an organization that is very dear to me. I work there as well, Black Professionals Scotland. That is founded by Enoch. I don't know if you've met him, if you're in his network, but he's done a lot of work around helping black and ethnic minorities at large, actually, to break even here, knowing that we don't have the existing network. So he's been here long enough, and he's looking to help the other people coming in not to go through the same hassles that he went through. And so there's a lot of work that Black Professionals Scotland are doing centered around helping black professionals and even business owners just now, to break even. One of the ones that I would really want to talk about is the Barclays Eagle Labs. This is I've done a lot of trainings, to be honest, on startups and how to raise funding. I've gone to Stanford this year to go do a program on startup formation, and you had this Harvard professor teaching it. But what I want to mention about Barclays Eagle Lab is I met Dave at an event, a networking event. He runs the Eagle Labs in Edinburgh. I met him at a networking event, and one of the things that stood out to me is the level of support that they give is very practical. It's not about teaching all of these things about startups. A lot of people teach them. Actually, sometimes I run away from all of these programs. There are a lot, too much information. But they are very practical. They assign you mentors that are tailored to you. And these mentors, I've had 1 hour chat with them that have changed the total trajectory of my business and given me practical, everyday things that I need to do to get my startup from point A to point B. They are not generalized, it's tailored to me.
Because it's quite a lonely job sometimes, isn't it? And the amount of knowledge you have you have to have in your brain every day, only just to sustain your business and what you're doing, but then all on the periphery, all the business essentials and the things, the legalities,
and all of these things.
That's all kind of hard work in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you're looking at maybe a young person looking to start business, I've run a business before. I've run a sustainable business. I've run it for over 8 years, and I've exited and I've moved here. But you're looking at, it wasn't a startup because startup ecosystem is very different. It's more agile, it's not very traditional. But I've run a business and I know what's important. But look at someone who is looking to start, a young person looking to make a break, and they're having to get all of this information. It's very confusing.
Totally. And then, so obviously CodeBase, let's go back to CodeBase because they recently won a Scottish government contract, and it's 40 million or something, if I remember rightly.
To help startups,
And do you think things like that come from government but then are run by community in a sense with the likes of CodeBase, do you think that can help bridge the gap obviously further in Scotland?
Actually, they are the best people to run it.
Okay, cool.
Because they hold all of these events, they have first-hand knowledge about these founders and what's happening within the system. It's a place you can go to. I've met a lot of founders from going to networking events at CodeBase, and also the Eagle Labs is there. So their collaboration, that's the thing, the community within Scotland, it's very tight-knit.
It's not a competition, it's a collaboration.
Yeah, it's a collaboration. It's very collaborative. Everyone is working hand in hand for the founders to feel supported. But what I would like to see more is more awareness, especially within the ethnic minority groups, to know that these things are available. Because there are people who are basically trying to start a business, they are just doing it on their own without knowing about all of these resources that are available. So how can we reach more of those people to let them know this is here? You can tap into this.
And it's starting with obviously those advocacy pieces, but it's also starting with the idea that sometimes people don't feel that it's for them unless they can see someone else doing it. So it's making sure that we champion diverse founders. And obviously across diversity, we are looking at ethnicity, gender, disability, neurodiversity and social economic background, and making sure that all of those spectrums within society are championed within the tech sector. Do you think we're doing enough Or can we do more? Because obviously I'd love to know what we can do better.
I feel like we could do more. I feel like we could do more. It's very interesting that you mentioned like even economic backgrounds. Economic background, someone who comes from a wealthy background could easily be set up to like get funding from the dad's friend, just saying, oh, at a dinner chat, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'll give you 10,000 to support that.
100%.
But whereas a founder that is coming from a poorer background might have to scrape by to even get a bit of support from anybody. So these things do exist. This inequalities do exist.
I actually think you're picking up on a massively important point, actually. And I was just reminded, I was having a conversation with a founder recently who basically has built software, and there's a few of them out there that are helping to improve the hiring process so that more equality is shown on CV in that sense, by taking off personal detail and working with organizations and their pre-screening processes. I don't think we do that enough within the startup space, in that basically we are allowing, not nepotism necessarily, it's not a conscious thing that's going on.
Yeah.
But of course, if you go to a certain type of university and you're lucky enough to be able to spend the money to get there in the first place, then the network that university in itself allows you to open is huge if they work within the innovation space. So for someone who does come from, say, perhaps a working class background or social economic background that doesn't allow for that, it's double the pain point straight away.
It is.
And then obviously, say, like you mentioned, you're a black female founder from a poor social economic background. That's three barriers. So what can we do? Like, obviously, are we doing enough to champion the diversity within the space across the UK?
I've seen a lot of work being done, especially while working for Black Professional Scotland. I have front row seats to all of the work that is being done. There are a lot of embellishments happening, but I've seen organizations that are really doing the work. Recently, we had a program it's called Step to Success, where we get graduates or students or Black professionals to go into organizations that we partner with and have like a one-day recruitment event where they could easily hear the stories of the people who are at the top and see how they got there. And the recent one that we did happened at Aegon Asset Management, and Aegon UK. And they had people come and chat. And what struck out to me is Aegon does not recruit based on, I don't think they prioritize the education. I think they don't ask you about it. They just want to know you as a person. So they are looking to not prioritize the schools you've been to
100%.
and all of those things, and just look at what
skills and experience
do you have. What skills do you have?
Yeah.
And that was the first time I was seeing that in action. And it's not just the embellishment, because we heard from the business leaders. I think we had the technology lead or whatever who says, no, I didn't go to school. I finished high school and I got into this program, and then from there I was hired here, and this is how I worked my way to become this. So we had a lot of people talking about their experience to show us that it's not about where you were coming from. So I saw that they've done a lot of work, not just now, over the years, because these people have been there 20 years, 25 years, and they were hired from the beginning without a formal education.
Wow.
But
and it's important that we showcase those people and show different pathways into the tech sector. It is the Labour conference over in England at the moment, so I'm going to kind of nick Tony Blair's education thing, and I'm going to change it to networking. That's one of the things I got from our conversation today, and obviously making sure that we have that fairness across the sector, and obviously reaching out and getting organisations and helping with their training processes, I'm sure must be part of that process as well.
Yeah, it's true, because if you look at established organizations could easily have people they use for their trainings. But with startups, how do you make sure startups are not really very positioned to hire the best of the best in terms of experience and all of that? So how do you make sure that the people you do hire gets up to speed with the other organizations well enough that you're able to succeed as a company? So I feel like startup organizations need a lot of training, and having a platform like Ujali, you can go in there, chat to any training expert, find out their rates, speak to them about what you want from them, and have them come train you without having to go through all of the hassles of the contracts and all of those things, especially for startup organizations. All the chat that I've had today with people, I said, look, startups are most especially positioned to actually benefit from the platform that we've built. So we've gone in, we've verified these people for you, we've set up this rigorous onboarding process to make sure that we're matching value. We can do a value matching for you. So all you need to do is come in, look through the platform, see who you are interested in, chat to them, and get them in.
It's nice. There's some synergy be the likes of obviously Gig.ai, yourselves, Loopsio over here today. There's definitely that movement within obviously the kind of the sector, obviously for the need to better connect people together. So listen, we have to move on because there's someone else waiting to chat, but I can chat with you all day to be honest. So, just do a social shout out, like how can people find the organisation? Like what's your website address and things?
Okay, our website is ujali.co.uk. It's ujali.co.uk. And on there you can actually find all of our social media handles. So you can, through the website, go into anywhere. And if you're looking to join the platform, which is a web app, you can, through the website, you see just on the dashboard there, you see join now or register or log in, whatever. So you can, through there, go into the web app and see what the platform is about, register as a facilitator, or if you're a company looking to procure facilitators, you can register as well.
Amazing. Okay, brilliant. Well, listen, enjoy the rest of the DNA.
Thank you.
What I would say is I think there might be a couple of sneaky beers later on at the Eagle Labs. Apparently, I'm hearing between like 6 and 9. So if you can join us for that as well, that would be fantastic. But if not, I look forward to seeing more about your journey over the next few months as well. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Great stuff. We'll be back with more Starticus chats very soon. Oh, that was great, mate.